We are heading back to Arrakis. Watch this.
Shadows of Arrakis lie many secrets, but the darkest of them all may remain. The end of House Atreides. Your father didn't believe.
The second part of the epic adaptation of the sci-fi classic Dune is in theaters this weekend, starring Timothée Chalamet and Zendaya. Here with his take, and probably how to pronounce a name properly, is Rad. Timothée, I
no, that obnoxious little accent gets me too, okay?
I know.
I totally feel you, yeah.
Whatever we're calling him, he's delightful. He was excellent in Dune 1. When it first came out in 2021, it made $590 million worldwide at the box office, despite the pandemic. And now fans are gearing up for part 2. What is your take on this?
I mean, I, first of all, was way more satisfied with this movie than I was with the first movie. And of course, this one, now that the pandemic's over and it's got a full, like, you know, theatrical IMAX, you know, earth-shattering release, it'll, of course, be a bigger blockbuster. And when I say, you know, like, I think you might remember I was actually kind of frustrated with the first movie, because as awe-inspiring its spectacle was, it was a movie that was just setting the places in, you know, setting the table, and the story hadn't really kicked in yet. Whereas in this movie, everything snaps into focus, not just like, you know, the plot of the movie and all the conflicts, but also just like the themes of colonization, of 20th century colonization, the idea of a white savior figure being a destructive figure that kind of falls for their own mirage. The, you know, like the tensions and the spectacle, and the fact that they're surfing sandworms in this movie, all the fun, all the thoughtfulness that Dune has, all the inspirations it takes from Lawrence of Arabia, which is one of the greatest movies ever, it all snaps into place. And so this was, this is one of my favorite blockbusters in recent years.
What did you think of the casting?
The casting, this is interesting, because, you know, like, they have an incredibly stacked cast here, right? I mean, you need the best actors to compete with the sound and fury of a Denis Villeneuve film. But the thing is, there's also a huge missed opportunity, because this is a story, you know, the fact that they didn't cast any Arab actors in this is, I think, kind of egregious, because this is a story that is drawn so much from Arab culture, Arab history. You know, like, a lot of this story is drawn, you know, if you look at the language they use, the costumes they use, the rituals and beliefs they do, the conflicts that are depicted here is all borrowing from Arab culture and history. And so to not have any Arab cast members is kind of, it's egregious, because, like, you know, Hollywood has this history of always typecasting Arab actors as terrorists, and yet here's a story that is more empathetic to their plight, and and there's this erasure. So, you know, that is the thing that kind of takes away from what is otherwise, I think, Denis Villeneuve's masterpiece.
That's an excellent point you're making there. Have they said anything? Has anyone
They have not addressed it. People have mentioned it on the side, but they haven't addressed the casting issue at all.
Okay, so something to keep in mind when you were at the film. Who is this movie for?
I mean, look, like, in terms of blockbusters, I mean, this is as satisfying as the conclusion to Lord of the Rings, Return of the King, and it's as satisfying as a big James Cameron blockbuster like Avatar: The Way of the Water.
Okay, Rad, thank you so much for coming in this morning.
Thanks for having me.
Hey, thanks for watching. If you liked this, be sure to subscribe here, or you can check out more Your Morning videos right here.